All right, sports fans, Joey Sutherland with you. Sorry for that slight delay. We had a nice tribute to Don Kimble. No? Okay. All right, so we'll have Brandon Graff about to tell us who's coming. But I can tell you by looking up at the scoreboard. All right, we're having some technical difficulties with Brandon Graff. We'll have to get him back online. And I don't have the heat sheet yet because there were some late changes, but I can tell you this is the third heat, the exhibition heat. And winning it with a time of 58.61 was out of lane number 4. And now we will get into the semifinal heat, or the consolation heat. This is a scoring heat. Let's see if Brandon's got his mic on yet. Hope he does. All right, we have Hannah Martin Cook in lane number 1, Sarah Patanachek in lane number 2. Kayleen Darby's in lane number 3. Andrea Bustis is in 4. Danica Fensenden is in 5. Ali Vasilakis is in lane number 6. Inez McNichols is in 7. And Callie Lucero is in lane 8. Here they come. Right now into the end of the butterfly here. And it is Fessenden, Danica Fessenden from Wayne State, who goes 57.74 for first place, 57.90 in lane. Fessenden was in lane 5. It was lane 4 was second with 57.90. We did have 7 of the 8 were sub a minute. Boy, I need a heat sheet bad. I know. But you're okay. And here we go with the championship heat. It will be Ashley Perry in lane number 1. Flora Slesnar is in lane number 2. Barbara Munoz Quintero is in lane number 3. Ashley Pinkowitz is in lane number 4. Megan Clifford's in lane number 5. Here we go again. Asaya Schenk is in lane number 6. Chelsea Engelsman is in lane number 7. And Evie Dice is in lane number 8. Nothing. And taking it with a time of 56.87 is Megan Clifford. Second place goes to Barbara Munoz Quintero with a 56.96. Nope, now we are into the men's exhibition heat, non-scoring. Here, give it to me. And we're off. I'll fiddle around and try to get it. All right. Check 1, 2, check. All right. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2, 3. We're having a few issues. Fix the microphone. Check, 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 check.
You're hot now. You're hot right now.
Hello, Brandon Graff. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent. There you go. All right. Congratulations on that one.
Final.
All right. Finally got a heat sheet now. And looks like we're good to go. First place out of lane number 4 there was Reed Gilbert. And we're underway here in the consolation heat. I beg your pardon, the B relay. The B heat. Oh my goodness, this is a tough start to the finals here tonight. Here in the men's 100-yard butterfly.
In lane 1, C. Barrage. Lane 2, Matthew Richmond. Lane 3, Ryan Kruger. Lane 4, Colin Shea. Lane 5, Porter Hoffman. Lane 6, Joao Pedro Noguera. Lane 7, Connor Spanos. And lane 8, Ivan Hurtado.
Looks like Hoffman had the lead at the halfway mark with a 23:71, just ahead of Matthew Richmond at 23:75 as they're now on their back 50. In fact, they're back 25. Who is going to take this second heat of the men's 100 fly here in the finals? It looks like it'll be, holy cow, Colin Chi from Wayne goes 51:06. That is a half a second drop. Second place on that one will go to Matthew Richmond from Saginaw Valley, who goes a 51:15. That's a drop as well. All right, now we're going to make our way into the men's 100-yard butterfly championship heat.
A final.
We have had 2 people go sub 50 in this heat. Probably going to see as many as 5 go sub 50 here. And they're off. Let's find out. Who do we got, Brandon?
In lane 1, Ollie Sheet. Lane 2, Lorenzo Tassinari. Lane 3, Joshua Mahaney. Lane 4, Logan Fox. Lane 5, Elliot Robles Ruiz. Lane 6, Erica Pertzak. Lane 7, Marcel Sedlick. And lane 8, Trevor Jones.
All right, thank you, Brandon Graff, for that one. At the halfway mark, we have 22:24 by Alejandro Robel Ruiz and a 22:30 for Logan Fox. Final 50, here we go. There is less than 3/4 of a second separating first through fifth. It looks like it's a comfortable lead right now out of lane 5, and our winner going 47:60. Holy cow. What a swim there by Alejandro Robles Ruiz with that 47:60. Logan Fox goes 48:25.
Next up, the women's 400 IM C
and
final.
Third place was out of lane 2, and that's Tassinari, as we're underway now into the women's 400 IM. First of 3 heats here.
In lane 3, Lily Heath. Lane 4, Megan Hishner. Lane 5, Emma Hale.
All right, remember this is a non-scoring meet. All 3 of these swimmers from Aquinas College. Seed time to beat here is 5:07:50. This is the 400 IM. All right, at the end of the first 50, it is 32:09 for Emma Hale. It is so tough on these championship finals to know who's going to win and who's going to still explode and who has still ability to drop time from earlier today. The only thing I can tell you definitively about this race is that an Aquinas Saint is going to win this heat. That is not rocket science on my part, folks. All 3 swimmers are Saints from Aquinas. 1:10:51 for Hincher. 111.91 for Hale, and Lily Heath threw in at 116.97. I tell you what, folks, besides this amazing swimming we've had all weekend, one of the most fun things I had, I am, if you don't know, I am a die-hard Detroit Lions fan. And we were able to, during the session break, watch the majority of the game, including the end. The Lions, who trailed by 12 points with 4 minutes to go, scored 17 points in a row to win that game, and it was going crazy, including a lot of the coaches for several teams. That was absolutely probably the highlight of the weekend, and I've been overwhelmed with some amazing swimming this weekend. Plus, I kid you not, folks, how lucky am I? I get to work not only with my son, but my daughter. So I had 2/3 of my children worked this weekend, and my grandchild, Miles, a.k.a. Junie, he chipped in a shift as well. So it's been a fun weekend here at the Don Kimble Invitational Swimming and Diving Classic. Later today, we're going to have a little conversation with Don Kimble's son, Dan. Just a couple quick minutes. All right. We're nearing the 3-minute mark here. This one's probably going to take about 5 minutes, is my suspicion. Still with a big lead right now at 3:14.37 is Megan Hincher in lane number 4. Emma Hale at 3:19.30 is in lane number 5. And Lily Heath is in lane number 3 at 3:27.04. They are finishing up the breaststroke here, about to transition into the front crawl. There are going to be some amazing races tonight, folks. I'm telling you, I am so excited about a few of these races coming up, particularly the 50 free for both the men and the women. I am hoping amongst hope that for the first time in my professional career, I get to broadcast a swimmer going sub-20 in the 50-yard freestyle. If I do, I'm telling you, well, it won't top me being as excited as I was about the Lions' comeback victory, but it'll be a close second. It'll probably be the most exciting I've had at a swim meet since this Davenport swimmer at conference a couple years ago finished and scored in the 800 IM. That was a joke. It was the 4. All right, coming up on our final 50 here. And also coming up on the 5-minute marks, we could see, I don't know if Fincher's going to be able to get a personal best here. It's close. Let's see. She's about to hit the wall inside the flags. And she's going to go 5:06.73. That is a full second drop. Nicely done, Megan Hincher. 5:06.73 for Megan Hincher. Second place at 5:19.14. And third place, 5:28.39. Wow, that is the exact same time she had this morning.
B final.
That's going to take us, as Mr. Graff tells us there, into the women's 400-yard IM B, or consolation heat. This is a scoring heat. It's actually only got swimmers from Wayne, Hillsdale, and Saginaw Valley. Wayne are in lanes 1 and 2. 3 through 5 is Hillsdale, and Saginaw Valley in 6 through 8. Brandon, who are they? All right, maybe he's not going to tell us. It could be the biggest mystery ever.
In lane 1, Rose Haney. Lane 2, Madeline Pura. Lane 3, Emma Dickott. Lane 4, Elise Mason. Lane 5, Rotum Adajeko. Lane 6, Sierra Mason. Lane 7, Cassidy Lease. Lane 8, Lauren Cordier.
All right, at the first 50, it is 28.81 for our leader, Elise Mason. Mason has the seed time to beat of 4:45.03. Everybody else is in the 450s or higher, so she should open up her lead here. And it's unfortunate for her as she's so far ahead of everybody else here, but just off the pace of the top 8. As she's going to hit the halfway mark at 102.95 with a 34.14. Second place with a 35.50 at 105.57 is Sierra Mason. And then what do we got? 106.25 for Madeline Pura. The swimmers are coming up on the 150-yard mark. Still a big lead. There for our leader, Elise Mason. She's got her final 50 of the backstroke before she transitions into the breaststroke. And folks, that's where she's going to dominate there. She is a pure breaststroker. As her lead now, folks, is about 2.5 body lengths, maybe 3, as she's about to hit the 2:15 mark and switch into the breaststroke. Here she goes at 2:12.88. Next is 2:18, 6 seconds behind for Sierra Mason. And then it's a log jam of 4 competitors. On her way back, coming up on the halfway mark of the breaststroke. What a long pull out there. That was a very excellent looking one there by our leader from Hillsdale, Elise Mason. She's about to hit the wall once again here at the 2:54.75 mark with a 41.87. Still got 50 yards to go. Sierra Mason came in with a 40.72, and there was a 39.18 from Rotem. Coming back home, final 25 here of the breaststroke, as she will then transition into the freestyle. Her lead remains, I would say it's not 3 anymore, still 2 body lengths, as she is going to hit the wall here at 3:36.85 with a 42.10 and make her way back. Final 100. This is in the front crawl. That is about a 5-second lead. But now she's really picking it up. It's back to a 3 full body length lead inside the flags. Final 50 to go here. She's starting to open it up. Let's see what her split time was. That's a 31.98 for the 50 free at 4:08. Will she do any damage to her previous time? 31.408. She could. She could top her time from this morning, as she's on her way home right now. About to capture the consolation heat of the women's 400 IM. Out of lane number 4, Elise Mason, and she hits the wall 6 seconds faster than this morning at 4:39.60. Second place will go to Sierra Mason, who goes 4:46.51. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an 8-second drop, with third place going to Rodham Andeko from Hillsdale, who went 4:49.07. That is 0.03 of a second drop. So our top three with personal best, very good swims. That's going to transition us
final
into, as Mr. Graff just said, our A finals. This one, folks, could be crazy. Ella Wagner from Davenport with a seat time to beat a 4:27.71. They're off. Mr. Graff, who is in this championship heat of the women's 400-yard IM?
In lane 1, Diana Muccioli. Lane 2, Samantha Fowler. Lane 3, Ellie Belmore. Lane 4, Ella Wagner. Lane 5, Marissa Booth. Lane 6, Hasten Horling. Lane 7, Abigail Wampler. Lane 8, Joanna Burnham.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. Brandon Graff, both our public address announcer and our meet manager. It was a 27.96 for Wagner for her first 50. That's the lead, although it's still very close right now. This one, Wagner, she was up and down in the morning, and in fact right now she's going to take second place at the first 100 with Ellie Belmore at 1:00.14. 1:00.49 for Wagner and 1:00.8 for Marissa Booth. Keep an eye on all of these, folks. This is some good swimming here right now. And don't forget about actually one that I think is an underdog in this, but still going to give a fit before it's all said and done. Samantha Fowler from Saginaw Valley. She's all the way here at lane number 2. Right now I'd say she's solid 4th place. It is 1:34.11 for Wagner, 1:34.07 for Booth. So I looked at that wrong. And it's now Marissa Booth. We've had our third leader after 3 50s. So we've had 3 different leaders at the first 3 50s. That is fun swimming right now, ladies and gentlemen. And about to hit the wall to transition here. It is 2:07.25 for Booth, 2:07.26 for Wagner. It is 1/100th of a second differentiating between first and second place as we transition into the breaststroke. Holy cow. Ella Wagner, Marissa Booth from Davenport and Wayne State respectively are really duking this one out. I tell you what, right now, I think Wagner's retaking the lead after the first 50 of the breaststroke. She hits the wall at 2:45.46 to 2:46.05. So now it's about a 0.2 second differential between the two. This is a fun race, folks, here in the championship heat of the women's 400 IM. Wagner this morning went 4:27. Booth went 4:30. They're coming back on the final breaststroke, and that lead is maybe 1/4 of a second for Wagner. Maybe a little more now as they get ready to transition into the freestyle. 3:24.46, 3:25.19, and now it's what do you got left in the tank, boys and girls? These two are going to duke it out. Rev up the engines. It's going to be a close one. 75 yards to go. The difference is less than a second. We have 1:50 remaining. 2 wall touches to go. There's the flip turn. Wagner at 3:56.03. 3:56.86 for Booth. These two are now just with adrenaline. What do you got left? Who's going to win the 400 IM? Final flip turn coming up right here. They're on their way home. It looks like a slight lead right now for Wagner. Does she have enough left in the tank to hold on? In fact, she's opened the lead to about a half a second. Inside the flag, 3 or 2, 1, hits the wall, 4:27.24. Holy cow. That's a half a second drop, but for Marissa Booth, who gets second, she goes 4:28.36.
And
Her
now the
first
men's 400 IM.
sub 430
final.
was a 2-second drop for second place. Third place went to Ellie Belmore from Wayne with a time of 4:27.24. That was a fun race, folks. All right, now it's the guys' turn. This is the exhibition non-scoring heat here. Brandon, who do we got?
In this heat, in lane 2, Jason Swenson. Lane 3, David Gann. Lane 4, Ben Zidlowski. Lane 5, Nick Bracken. Lane 6, Cristiano Uzone-Chin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. Jason Swenson from Aquinas is in lane 2, along with teammates Ben Zidlowski in lane number 4, Nick Bracken in 5, and Christopher Azuno-Chin in lane number 6. The non-Aquinas College Saint is David Gann in lane number 3 from Olivet Nazarene. At the first 100, it is 31-12 for Bracken. At 57.92, and then 1:00.12 for Zidlowski. Wow, that's the first time my alarm on my watch told me the crowd was so loud. And this isn't as big as of a crowd as we had yesterday, to be honest with you. Holding the lead in lane number 5. Bracken with another 35.70 is at 1:33.62. Still in the back crawl here. Final 50 here of the back crawl before they transition into the breaststroke. About to hit the wall here from Aquinas in lane number 5 with a 35.10 and a 2:08.72 as he transitions into the breaststroke. That's Nick Bracken. 2:11.75 for Zidlowski and 2:13.03 for David Gann. Coming up on the halfway mark of the breaststroke for the leaders. Now the battle right now between second and third place is getting pretty close. A good pickup here from David Gann. At the wall with a 2:49.79 is Bracken. 2:51.24 is Zidlowski, and Gann at 2:52.64. Final 50 of the breaststroke. Let's take a look at this. I'll tell you what, folks, it has gotten a little closer here as we're about to transition from the breast into the front crawl, our final 100. At the wall, Bracken, Nick Bracken will hold the lead, 3:31.40, 3:33.17 for Zidlowski, and 3:33.86 as now they got a 100-yard of the freestyle. $75 yards to go. That battle for second and third is still could go either way as the flip turn and a 4:02.88 for Bracken. 4:05.50 to 4:05.71. Zidlowski and Gann are almost virtually tied. Now it's truly a battle, folks. They're duking it out, and I believe Gann has overtaken Zidlowski on the last flip turn. Here they come home. Nick Bracken's going to go away and get the W, but I think right now it is David Gann wanting second place. Bracken goes 4:32.40. That is a 7-second drop. Second place is Gann, 4:35, a 10-second drop. Third place, Zidlowski, goes 4:36. That's a 3-second drop. We still have Swenson and Azuno Chin. And it is Azuno Chin going 5:03.36. And Jason Swenson hits the wall at 5:17.11. That's a half a second drop. Nice swim, all 5 competitors. Now we are in the scoring.
Final.
Thank you, Mr. Graff. We are in the B finals. This is a scorer. And it's going to have half the participants are from Wayne State. Here they go. Who do we have here in the B championship of the 400 IM for the boys? Mr. Graff, take it away. Oh, he's having a conversation right now. Coming back for the first 50 of the butterfly. I would say the leader's up in lane 6 right now, and it is Rodrigo Vargas with a 24.99 ahead of Vusilek Marco from Wayne at 25.70. Holding on to that lead out of lane number 6. Rodrigo Vargas from Saginaw Valley looking pretty good in the butterfly. Hits the wall with another 28.54 for 53.53. Second place, 55.30 is Vusilek. And 55.84 for Hazit. They are now back crawling. Looking like having some issue with his hand position after the turn. But it's still going to be the lead for Vargas. Hitting the wall now at 126.44, then 127.57 for Hassett, and Vusilek at 128.35. Normally I say it's the breaststroke that separates and changes the balance. We're only in the second leg here in the back crawl, but it's gotten pretty close. In fact, by the time we hit the wall, I'm not sure which Saginaw Valley State swimmer is going to have the lead. Is Hazit going to catch up to Vargas here? At the turn, it is Vargas, 159.49, Hazit, 159.75, and Vusilek at 200.86. Wow. No worries. It was just a gift. Wow, look at this. As we're now in the breaststroke, we have a leader overtaking the 2 Saginaw Valley swimmers right now, thanks to the solid breaststroke, is Marco Vusilek from Wayne State. He's at a 2:35.58 to 2:35.86 and 2:36.66 for Vargas. This is going to be fun here, folks. We still have another 25 of the breaststroke and 100 of the freestyle. I'm looking as they come up on after that pullout, and it's still going to be a comfortable lead right now for Marco Vusilek. I beg your pardon. Vusilek will hit the wall at 3:11.59 to 3:12.15 for Hassett and 3:14.43 for Vargas. Now it's what you got left in the tank, our last 100 freestyle. This is where they go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I would say we have a change in the leaderboard again. I believe now it is Hassett back in charge. He is going to hit the wall at 3:39.60 with a 27.45. Vusilek with a 29.16 at 3:40.75. Final 50, opening up the lead right now. Wow, Hassett is really going nuts. I don't know where he's finding this extra energy. About to hit the wall with a time of 4:06:23. Second place, Vucelik from Wayne goes 4:08:96. And third place was Vargas at 4:13. 7 of the 8 competitors had personal bests. But how about that 5-second drop there from Scott Hassett? He takes first place in the consolation heat of the 400 IM. That brings us now to the championship heat. And will we see a sub 4 minute 400 IM? Boy, I hope so. I love watching the expression of the Saginaw Valley coaches.
Final.
They are really getting into this one. All right. The final 8. Who will we see as the 400 IM champion? And will it go under 4 minutes? Boy, I hope so. They're off. Brandon, who do we got swimming here in the championship?
In lane 1, Grant Sandstedt. Lane 2, David Schertzkow. Lane 3, Almo Sedlak. Lane 4, Trevor Jones. Lane 5, Alex Duane. Lane 6, Benjamin Wayman. Lane 7, Mateo Capitosi. And lane 8, Arthur Marquez.
Zedlak with the lead after the first 50 at 24:16 on the fly. I love the jubilation. Coming back right now, about to be done with the first 100. Looks like it's going to be lane 3 still. Alma Sedlak from Saginaw Valley at 52.82, and it is. Then 52. Actually, I disagree with the scoreboard because from the naked eye, I had Zedlak ahead of Trevor Jones, but the scoreboard has it differently. Great swim. Nice swim. Way to finish strong. Got to give a little fist pump there to our second heat winner, Scott Hassett. And as we get the flip turn in here on the first 50 of the backstroke, it is, what's our leader right now? 122.86 for Trevor Jones, 123.69 for Zedlak, and then 124.50 for Sisgail from Davenport, who's just sneaking around, hanging out in lane number 2, and he's still in this one. Final 50 here of the backstroke. They transition into the breaststroke. Who's our true breaststrokers? We'll find out here. 153.07 is the lead right now for Trevor Jones. 154.51 for Zedlak. And 154.91 for Sisgail. Hitting the wall for the first breaststroke. Boy, folks, let's keep an eye on this. We've already seen it in the previous heat. We had 4 changes at the wall in the previous heat. Now, this is now a pretty comfortable lead right now out of lane number 4 for Trevor Jones at 227.49. Second place now, though, is David Zisgail from Davenport at 229.70. They got one more 50 of the breaststroke. I'm telling you, the battle for second place right now is a heavyweight duke out here. I'm going to have a straight look ahead of me. I'm going to say barely Sisgail will be in second place. Our leader, though, at 3:02.63 is Trevor Jones. 3:05.07 is Sisgail. 3:05.64 for Duhame. We haven't called his name yet. And now we're into the final 100 of the freestyle, the front crawl. Will we see sub 4 minutes? Boy, I hope so, folks. It's going to be real close. At the wall, 3:31.07 with a 28.44. Can he hold that split? If he does, he will go sub 4 minutes. The battle, too, is for second place. But right now, folks, I got my eye on the stopwatch. Can he go sub 4 minutes? He's coming in right now. 3:52. It's going to be close. 7, 8, 9. He did it, folks. He did it. 27:34. He goes 3:58.41. Holy cow. Trevor Jones goes sub 4 minutes in the 400 IM. Congratulations. Holy cow. 3:58.41. Second place
Next
was
up,
out of lane 3.
Women's 200
Zedlak.
yard freestyle C final.
4:01.21. Third place was Ziskyle at 4:02. All three of the top went 6-second drops, and we saw a sub 4. Folks,
In lane
I
one,
am
Chloe
so
Boykin.
excited
lane
about
2,
that.
Sabine Branford. Lane 3, Ava Frick. Lane 4, Lucia Rucci. Lane 5, Haley Waters. Lane 6, Grayson Kosilski. Lane 7, Ines McNichols. Lane 8, Grace Barnhart.
All right, we have the exhibition heat of the women's 200 free. Seed time to beat here is 1:58.52 and 1:58.60. Now remember, this is a non-scoring heat. But man, oh man, we saw sub 4 minutes in the 400 IM. That was just awesome. This is the women's 200-yard freestyle exhibition heat. And at the 100-yard mark, it is 56.79, I believe, with the lead. Man, those numbers were hard to see right there. This is the 200 free exhibition heat. And at the 150 mark, we have a virtual tie between Rucci and Waters. They're at 127.49, 127.50. 1/100th of a second differentiates first and second place. What are we going to have? One crazy race after another today. This is so much fun, folks. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am bringing it to you. On the way home, I think we have a definitive leader, though, and about to have a winner of the consolation heat. Out of lane number 5, it is Haley Waters from Wayne State. She goes 157.18. Second is Rucci, 158.51, which is a 1/100th of a second drop from this morning. And third place out of lane number 2 was Branford, who went sub 2. Congratulations, 158.98. All right, now into the consolation heat. Let's take a look at who we got. Brandon Graff, take it away.
In lane 1, Caitlin Inman. Lane 2, Megan Seeloff. Lane 3, Hale Brunier. Lane 4, Danica Fassinen. Lane 5, Allison Early. Lane 6, Isabel Andresic. Lane 7, Ali Feslakos. Lane 8, Garcia Gomez.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. At the first 50, it is, holy cow, it is way too doggone close to call. I see 26, 26, 26, 26. 5 of the competitors are in the 26 range. So we're going to call that just about a virtual tie there. At the 100, at the halfway mark, who wants the lead? Looks like he's going to be down in lane 6. And it is 55.43 will be our leader right now in lane number 6. That's Isabel Andresic from Hillsdale. But we're far from a finish here yet, folks. Look at this at the 150 mark, and from the naked eye, too tough to call. I think lane 7 still is the lead. No, it's lane 6 still, or lane 6 now, I beg your pardon. So Andresic just ahead of Vasilakis from Wayne. and a whole bunch of other people. I'm not going to call this one till we see the wall hit here on the way back. We are definitely going to see some personal bests at the flags at 150. And hitting the wall, it is Ali Vasilakis from Wayne, goes 154.55. That is a 3-second drop, second place on that one. Goes to the opposite side. Lane number 2, Hyber from Wayne, goes 154.80, a 2-second drop. And third place out of lane number 5 was Allison Early. And what did she go? 155.12, which is almost a full second drop as well. Good googly moogly, folks. All right, to the championship heat. Here we go. Will we see sub 150? I hope so. Let's find out who's competing.
Carolyn Holmes. Lane 2, Alexa Heber. Lane 3, Barbara Munoz-Quintero. Lane 4, Jordan Fox. Lane 5, Rebecca Wallace. Lane 6, Isadora Scarrick. Lane 7, Andrea Bustos. And lane 8, Megan Clifford.
All right, as I said, folks, this is another one of those too tough to call races. Jordan Fox is our seed leader, 151.29. Rebecca Wallace, the Davenport from South Africa, is a 152.77. Coming up on the wall here, folks. Oh, my goodness. The 200-yard freestyle championship heat finals for the women at the halfway mark. It is 54.10, 54.21, and 54.67. So we have 3 within a half a second deciding who is going to win the 200-yard freestyle. Now it is gut check time. What do you got left in the motor, and how bad do you want it? It looks like right now, still to me, lane 4 with the lead. That's Jordan Fox. She'll be at 122.91. And then it's 123 flat for Barbara Munoz-Quintero and 123.34 for Rebecca Wallace. Last 50. Are we going to see sub 150? And who's going to win it? I don't know, folks. We might have a change in the leaderboard. And hitting the wall at 151.17. It's Barbara Munoz-Quintero with a 28.17 to go 151.17 and get the W. Jordan Fox is second at 151.56. Third goes to Rebecca Wallace at 152.04. Holy cow, folks. We didn't get our sub 150, but that was still another fantastic finish. And congratulations to Barbara Munoz-Quintero from Wayne State. That was a 2-second drop to win it.
Heat, in lane 2, Mohammed Elouet. Lane 3, Conrad Eichbauer. Lane 4, Trevor Ferris. Lane 5, Mikhail Nieselek. Lane 6, Keanu Gorecki. In lane 7, Sawyer Shank.
All right, folks. At the first 50, as now we're into the men's 200 free. This is a non-scoring race, technically an exhibition. We're coming up on the halfway mark here of the men's 200 free. Exhibition heat. At the wall, 52.40 to 52.61. That 52.40 was by Trevor Freerich from Wayne. 52.61 is Niedzalik. They're coming up on the 3/4 mark, 75% of the way there. And lane number 4 is still Trevor. He went 27.30. He's at 119.70 with 150 to go. 150 yards to go, not 150 yards to go. Hope you got that one. All right, coming in right now. Half of a pool length remaining. Does Trevor hold on to this one? Looks like he will. And he does. Going 147.08. Trevor Free Riches goes 147.08, dropping 2.5 seconds to win the exhibition heat. Second place goes to Michael Niedzalik from Davenport, who goes sub 150 for the first time. He goes 148.30. That's going to bring us into the second heat here. The scoring heat.
Final.
The scoring heat here. Four swimmers from Saginaw Valley in this one. Let's find out who's where with our meet manager and public address announcer, Mr. Brandon Graff. Mr. Graff, tell us who we have.
In lane 1, Alex Partzek. Lane 2, Elliot Matiak. Lane 3, Colin Che. Lane 4, Harrison Arnold. Lane 5, Zach Dolman. Lane 6, Nate Shucklebeer. Lane 7, Sibi Raj. And lane 8, Gage Babalio.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. Holy cow, is this fun. And 50.58 to 50.29 for Dahlman, 50.58 for Arnold, and 50.7 for Chi. About to hit the wall here. And now it's 117.26 for Arnold. 117.81 for Dahlman. They're still duking it out with 50 yards to go. It was Arnold who went 144.89 this morning. And hitting the wall out of lane number 4. It is Arnold who goes 143.31. That's a 1.5 drop. Second place is Dahlman, who goes 145.72. And third place is Schluckbeyer, who goes, what did he go? 145.88. That's a 2-second drop.
A final.
And that'll bring us to the A final of the men's 200-yard freestyle. I think I have a great chance to see sub 140 here. We're off.
In lane 1, Gerard Laverdis Holmes. Lane 2, Mason Beal. Lane 3, Isaac DeVries. Lane 4, Clayton Kinnard. Lane 5, Mohammed Ben Ajimia. Lane 6, Alvar Ruiz de Canis. Lane 7, Jack Fries. Lane 8, Tomas Jakowski.
All right, at the first 50 of 200 here, we have a lot of people right around 23 mid. It was like a wave there at the first wall. Coming up here on the halfway mark. Do we have a little separation yet? Not really. Tough to say from the naked eye from me. 3, 4, 5 could be any of them. It is going to be 58-68, I believe. I'm going to say right now it's Ben Ajimia. Now there's a slight separation with still about 50 yards to go, but definitely in the lead out of lane number 5 right now is Mohammed Ben Amia. Can anybody catch up to him? It's a chase now. He looked great off that last flip turn. He's got about a body length lead now. and he's going to cruise into the wind. Did he go under 140? You bet he did. 138.75. Holy cow. That is a 2.5 second drop. Second place went to Clayton Kennard, who went 140.60.
All right.
And third place, 141.52. Was Isaac
In this
DeVries.
first heat of the women's 200 breaststroke, in lane 1, Kennedy Pierce, lane 2, Phoebe Johnson, lane 3, Megan Valeri, lane 4, Sarah Norman, lane 5, Megan Chimini, lane 6, Madeline Pura, lane 7, Justine Circa, and lane 8, Anna Beanstead.
This is 200 breast. First heat here, the non-scoring heat, the exhibition heat of the 200-yard breaststroke. And hitting the wall out of lane number 5 with the lead. That is Megan Simony. Second place at 34.40 is Sarah Norman from Olivet Nazarene. You don't remember her? That. All right. On their way back here. Coming up on the 150-yard marker. Looks like holding the lead out of lane number 5. 40.13 is Simony. Norman, 40.94, is about a second and a half behind her. Final 50, here we go. Oh, the sister. I think so. All right. What's our time here? Will we best the 2:35.28 from earlier today? Of course we will. 2:33.86 for Simony. Megan Simony wins the heat, going 2:33.86. Second place, Sarah Norman, goes 2:36.08. All right, getting ready for
B
our
final.
second heat. And they're off. Mr. Graff, who do we have here in the consolation heat of the women's 200-yard breaststroke?
In this heat in lane 1, Claire DeKevitt, lane 2, Jenna Schmidt, lane 3, Kayleen Darby, lane 4, Madison Labrie, lane 5, Grace Charnstrom, lane 6, My Goal, lane 7, Rotem Adachico, lane 8, Rose Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. As it looks like 32-16 actually has the lead right now out of lane number 1, which would be Claire DeKevitt from Davenport. That's a sneaky lead right now in lane 1. But if you look at how close all those scores are, it shouldn't be that surprising. At the halfway mark, it will still be DeKevitt at 108.99 with a 36.83. Does she have enough to hold that? You can hear the crowd getting into it. All right. And I would say at the 150-yard mark, it will still be DeKevitt with the lead at 148.33, 148.94 from Grace Charnstrom from Saginaw Valley. Okay. I have just been informed we are completely reseeding the 50-yard freestyle, so we'll keep an eye on that later. But let's focus back on the 200-yard breaststroke for the ladies. And we have a change in the leaderboard. It looks like it will be Grace Charnstrom going 2:27.55. It's a 2-second drop. Second place is Labrie, her teammate, who goes 2:28.06. And third at 2:29.51. With a fine swim, dropping 4+ seconds, is Claire DeKevitt. I thought we might have had a DQ for a second the way the officials were.
Final.
I do not believe that any longer. And now all we have left is to cheer for the 200-yard breaststroke champion, the A heat. And let's find out who's in it.
In lane 1, Mallory Brownrigg. Lane 2, Emma Dickett. Lane 3, Hassan Horling. Lane 4, Julietta Vega. Lane 5, Ella Wagner. Lane 6, Joanna Burnham. Lane 7, Hannah Gorecki. And lane 8, Lauren Hagam.
Holy cow, diving is already done. As the scoreboard got big. At the first 50, it will be 32.49 for Vega, 32.51 for Wagner, 32.80 for Burnham. Oh, I missed Horlings, 32.55. Good googly moogly. There is just no margin for error here for the swimmers. Coming up on the halfway mark. Nice swim. Great swim. It is 108.09 for Vega, 108.33 for Wagner. Horling at 108.52. 3, 4, and 5 are separated by less than a half a second. Less than actually 0.35 seconds. Some real great swimming. As we're about to hit the 150-yard mark of this 200-yard breaststroke. Championship heat here. And now a comfortable lead right now out of lane 4 for Vega, 143.40 to 144.58 and 145.09. Vega went 35.31 on that 50. Now they have 150 to go. In this final lap after the turn, let's see what kind of pullouts we get. Now the battles for second place. taking the win, though. 2:18.62 for Vega. Second place, 2:21.89. Is Wagner, and Horling goes 2:22.39. Thank you, and thank you. Seven of the 8 swimmers with personal bests there. Now we're going to transition into the exhibition heat, or the C heat of the 200 breast for the men. And well, first let's hear Mr. Graff tell us who's in that one. Maybe. All right, you heard Brandon Graff make the announcement. A reseed in the women's 50-yard freestyle. Thank you, sir. I'm just getting it right now. This will be interesting, and I'm curious as to why. I'll have to ask about that later. Jason Swenson in lane number 2. Andrew Coble is in lane number 4. Jason Swenson, I beg your pardon, is in lane number 3. Andrew Coble's in lane number 4. And Griffin Hurley from Aquinas is in lane number 5. Coble is from Olivet Nazarene, and Swenson is from Aquinas as well. They are coming up right now at Hurley, 38.88 at 112. Coble, 38.48, 113. And Swenson, 40.91 at 117. Final 50. Just kidding. We still have 50 more to go after this. Looks like holding on the lead, though, out of lane number 5 will be Hurley at 152.18. 153.29 for Coble. And Swenson is at 158.22. Trying to keep the voice strong. Too many good races still to go. On their way home, trying to cut into the deficit is Andrew Coble, but Griffin Hurley holding on by about a quarter of a shoulder length inside the flags, hitting the wall. 2:33.59 for Hurley. That's a 6-second drop. Coble goes 2:34.31. That's a half a second drop. And 2:39.03, which is a second and a half. Now we are into the consolation heat of the men's 200-yard breaststroke. Let's find out who's in it. For that, we will go to our public address announcer, Mr. Brandon Graff.
In lane 1, Cesar Robles. Lane 2, Joe Leonard. Lane 3, Ethan Howarda. Lane 4, Brody Milleroff. Lane 5, Micah Scholl. Lane 6, Luke Martin. Lane 7, Arthur Marquez. And lane 8, Tony Parlato.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff. That'll give me a chance to tell you who our top 5 were. I beg your pardon, our top 7 in the women's 1 meter. It'll be Grace Overbeek with 3:42 is in 7th place. Maddie Whitaker from Ashland is in 6th place. Kaylee Mills is in 5th place. Riley Hunt from Ashland is in 4th place. Wen Wadsworth Kookaroo is in 3rd place from Wayne State. Kaylee Smith is in 2nd place. And your winner of the women's 1 meter is Michaela Senkis from Saginaw Valley with 435.3 points. Now for the men's, in 7th place, Dylan Tyson, 375. Sam Hudkins from Saginaw Valley is in 6th. Joe Lenzik is in 5th from Ashland. Jeffrey Cottingham is in 4th from Wayne State. Max Wozniak is also from Wayne State in 3rd. Second place with 472.65 is Rory Kaufman, and your champion of the 3-meter for the men, John Martin from Wayne State, just 2.5 ahead at 475.15. All right, 33-33 for Milleroff, and that puts him in the lead at 134.39. Holwerda second at 137.12. Final 50. This is a good race for second and third, but winning it at 2:08.61 is Brody Milleroff from Saginaw Valley, dropping 2.5 seconds. Second place goes to lane 7, Arthur Marquise from Saginaw Valley, who goes 2:11.48. That's a 3.5 second drop, with third place going to lane 3, Ethan Holwerda from Olivet Nazarene, with a score of 2:12.27, which is still a slightly more than a half a second drop. But now it's time for the 200-yard breaststroke championship heat, A final. The swimmers are on the blocks, and they turn it over to Mr. Referee. And now we turn it over to Mr. Graff to tell us who it is. Thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. This one looks like a fun dogfight here at the first 50. 27.56 for Lizzie. Stender at 27.67. They're the only two sub-28s on that first 50. 150 yards to go here, the breaststroke. Seed time to beat was Owen Stender. He went 2:00.21. Can he break the 2-minute mark in the 200 breaststroke? We'll find out. Looks like Stender now has the lead. He does at 58.34. Lizzie with a 32.24 takes second at 59.80, and then Duhame from Wayne at 1:00.48. And to be honest with you, Joey Dombrowski from Wayne at 1:00.8. That is a great battle for first through fourth. Stender now, though, starting to open it up a little bit. Is he going to be under 128? 129.11. It's going to be real tough for him to go under 2. Second place, though, now is Alex Duhame ahead of Julian Lizzie. We'll keep an eye on that battle for second place. Owen is just flying for Davenport. And he's going to hit the wall at, 2:00.41. Oh, just missed. Second place, 2:06.05. Dropping 0.2 of a second is Alex Duhame. Third place was Joey Dombrowski, who goes 2:07.44.
And now the 100 backstroke C final.
And then Julian Lizzie from Davenport, who goes 2:07.87. Now we will transition into the 100-yard backstroke. And we're off. This is the exhibition heat here of the 100 backstroke.
In lane 1, Nikhil Sampson. Lane 2, Aubrey Velson. Lane 3, Maylee Lingley. Lane 4, Haley Waters. Lane 5, Michaela Muir. Lane 6, Cassie Scott. Lane 7, Emma Hale. Lane 8, Megan Hitcher.
All right, 30-0-0. Wow. For our leader. What are we trying to beat? 102.92 from this morning, and winning it with a 101.32 is Haley Waters. Second is Michaela Murr from Davenport, 103.40.
B final.
And third place was Cassie Scott, who goes 103.49. That's a full second drop. A quarter of a second for Michaela Muir. And Haley Waters dropped a second and a half to win it. So congratulations, Haley Waters.
In lane 1, Sarah Mason. Lane 2, Irene Del Castro. Lane 3, Ella Banning. Lane 4, Amelia Edens. Lane 5, Evie Dice. Lane 6, Sarah Pansnett. Lane 7, Leith Horvath. Lane 8, Allison Early.
All right. They are coming in right now at the end of the first 50. Looks like lane 3, Ella Banning will have the lead from Saginaw Valley. No, it's Amelia Edens from Aquinas at 28.45 to 28.59 for Banning. It was just that close. The naked eye, I was fooled again. Now we're going to have a little bit more definitive lead for Edens from Aquinas, going under 59 at 58.75. And then, wow, Amelia Edens goes 58.75 to win the heat, dropping a second on her time. Second place went to Evie Dice, who went 59.44, dropped a half a second. And third was 59.94 for Ella Banning. And that's the exact same time she had this morning. Now we're into the championship heat, the A heat of the women's 100-yard backstroke. There they go.
In lane 1, Asaya Shank. Lane 2, Chelsea
Nice
Abelson.
job,
Lane
Brandon.
3, Ellie Belmore. Lane 4, Alicia Pinkowitz. Lane 5, Hannah Martin Cook. Lane 6, Caroline Holmes. Lane 7, Paige Howell. Lane 8, Caitlin Inman.
That is the best he's done it all weekend for the lane 1 participant, Asaya Shank. And our leader at the end of the first 50 is Pinkowitz at 27.75, followed by Hannah Martin Cook at 27.93. Back 50. Love to see a negative split. Will we top our 56.50 of Alicia Pinkowitz from Davenport from this morning? It's too close to call right here, folks. Inside the flags, hitting the wall. It is 56.71 for Pinkowitz. Second place, 57.36. Let me confirm that. Yep, 57.36 is Hannah Martin Cook. And third place, 58.23 out of lane 3, is Ellie Belmore. Now it's the men's turn at the 100-yard backstroke. First, we'll start with the with the exhibition heat, the C heat of the 100 back. Brandon, who's in it?
In lane 2, Keanu Goracki. Lane 3, Bryce Rodriguez. Lane 4, Zach Powley. Lane 5, Elliot Metiek. And lane 6, Colin Neely.
All right, about to hit the halfway mark here. And our leader will be, wow, Rodriguez at 27.28, just ahead of Zach Pauly from Wayne at 27.38. But first through fifth are less than a second apart. And it looks like actually lane 3 is going to take this one. Rodriguez, who goes 56.25.
We upgraded the timing for the 50s, right? Yeah.
56-65 for Pauly is good enough for second. And
B
third is
final.
56-71 for Matejak. And now we are into the scoring heat, the B heat, consolation finals of the 100-yard backstroke. They're off.
In lane 1, Michael Miner. Lane 2, Joe O'Neill. Lane 3, Ali Scheidt. Lane 4, Matthew Richmond. Lane 5, Ian Clapp. Lane 6, Ryan Kruger. Lane 7, Ryan Harrison. Lane 8, Brandon Pritzitson.
On their way back, coming up on the halfway mark. A lot of water splashing, but a big leader here. 24-15 for Matthew Richmond, then 25-81 for Ali Sheed. That's where the battle begins, is for third place. On their way home right now, Saginaw Valley State's own Matthew Richmond is absolutely exploding on this back 50. He's got a body length and a half lead, and it will be 50.8. Wow. That is a 2-second drop for Matthew Richmond. Second place will go to Ali Sheed, who goes 53.25. That's a half a second drop. And third place was Joe O'Neill, who goes 53.93. That's a quarter of a second drop.
A final.
Now we flip the page for the A final of the men's 100-yard backstroke. 3 of the 8 competitors have already gone sub 50. They're off. Here we go.
In lane 1, Titus Smith. Lane 2, Marcel Setlick. Lane 3, Lorenzo Tassinari. Lane 4, Alejandro Robles Ruiz. Lane 5, Clayton Kinnard. Lane 6, Eric Slabbert. Lane 7, Even Hurtado. Lane 8, Erica Pertzak.
Holy cow, this is just an explosive first 50. Our leader, 23-29, is Robles Ruiz from Saginaw Valley. Only one to go sub 24. He's at 23-29. 150 to go. What are we going to see here? Are we going to see sub 49? It's going to be close. And hitting the wall at 48-32 is Alejandro Robles Ruiz. 48-32. That's a second plus
and now
drop.
the women's 50 freestyle C final.
All right, here we go. Now it's the exhibition
In
heat
lane
of the
1,
women's.
Kayla Doible. Lane 2, Claire Hines. Lane 3, Olivia Leathers. Lane 4, Chloe Boyven. Lane 5, Kennedy Pierce. Lane 6, Taylor King. Lane 7, Ashley Perry. Lane 8, Lauren Camp.
All right, remember this was reseeded. This is the non-scoring heat here. And it looks like it'll be lane 4. And it is Chloe Boven from Aquinas, goes 25.05. That
final.
drops another 0.4 of a second. Second place on that one went to lane 7 at 25.21, which is also a quarter of a second drop by Ashley Perry from Olivet Nazarene.
In lane 1, Isidore Scarrick. Lane 2, Micah Casper. Lane 3, Ella Yance. Lane 4, Evie Dice. Lane 5, Callie Lucero. Lane 6, Mia Points. Lane 7, Emma Scott. And lane 8, Lucia Rucci.
Here they come back. And with the naked eye, folks, I'm going to guess lane 5, but it's so close to call. And it is, no, lane 4, Evie Dice from Wayne goes 24.73. Evie Dice, 24.73. Second place was actually in lane 1 at 24.80.
We'll pull the timer sheet.
We're not going to announce any winners for another 15 minutes after that. Final heat.
All right, the officials are having the next heat go here for the championship, but there's some discrepancies on the times of that previous one. I didn't see what it was, folks, but here we go with the championship A heat of the women's
in lane
50
1,
free.
Veronica Markwood. Lane 2, Julia Katolski. Lane 3, Emily Helgren. Lane 4, Sabine Branford. Lane 5, Hannah Gorecki. Lane 6, Julia Mitzik. Lane 7, Julia Vega. Lane 8, Haley Waters.
No way am I going to try to guess who's got this one. If I had to pick, I'd say lane 5. And I'm wrong. It's Sabine Branford from Wayne, goes 24-12 to 24-14.
50 freestyle. C final.
Third place out of lane 7 with 24-21. And holy cow, we got to barely keep up with this. Now it's the men's 50 free consolation
in lane 1, Joe
heat.
Rush. Lane 2, Lucas Harding. Lane 3, Gage Pablio. Lane 4, Mitchell McMahon. Lane 5, Joao Pedro Noguera. Lane 6, Griffin Hurley. In lane 7, Zach Pauley. Lane 8, Sawyer Shank.
All right. The non-scoring heat looks like it's going to be lane 6. No, it was lane 5.
B final.
They have 22-47 out of lane 5 taking that one. All right, into the
in lane 1,
consolation
Colin
heat.
Jones. Lane 2, Nate Chucklebeer. Lane 3, Kyan Harnum. Lane 4, Matt Dumbisky. Lane 5, Joshua Tier. Lane 6, Connor Spanos. Lane 7, Gabe Corral. Lane 8, Colin Allward.
All right, here they go again. On their way back. It's so much water splashing. And I'm blocked, but the winner, easy this time, is Joshua Rotier in lane 5, goes 21-46. Second place, Kevin Mills, 21-76. No, I beg your pardon. Matt Dumsky, 21-76. They had already switched it to the championship heat. All right, this is the one.
A final.
The 50-yard freestyle. The fastest man here in the sprint will be determined in this final heat of the 50 free. Seed time to beat is Kevin Mills in lane number 4, 20.41. Here they go. You have to have a great start. You have to have a great flip turn, and you got to finish strong.
Scholl. Lane 2, Gavin Cruz. Lane 3, James
Graf
Lassie.
might not
Lane 4,
finish
Kevin
this.
Mills. Lane 5, Porter Hoffman. Lane 6, Joshua Mulhaney. Lane 7, Trevor Schroeder. Lane 8, Ryan Kruger.
I'm trying to see. I can't tell. It is 20.64 Kevin Mills. The only sub 21 he takes first. Second is Porter Hoffman, goes 21.22. Third is, they already switched it, 21.53. Let me go see who that was. We are going to have a 15-minute intermission here, though, folks. So bear with us. And let's see if everybody remembers who was coming over here. Sammy, can you test this out for me, please? Just start talking. I'll know when it's working. All right, let me figure out why I'm not getting it yet. All right, try now.
Testing.
Perfect. All right, that is one of the Aquatic Center managers, Samantha Sutherland, and also a Davenport alumni swimmer. Sammy, you swam for the Hall of Fame coach and the man this swim meet was named after, Don Kimble. Do you think he would enjoy this meet as much as I'm enjoying these crazy races?
I would have to go ahead and say yes, just based on how his son is enjoying this meet. I have to imagine the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So I think he really would enjoy all these fast times from all the swimmers.
I do too, and I got to ask you, as I was kind of teasing you a little bit earlier, do you miss swimming the 400 IM?
I was only lucky enough to ever swim it 2 times in my career, and they were a great 2 times, and it will always be 2 times, and I am okay with that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you were only the second girl in school history to score at the conference meet for Davenport.
That's what the people say.
All right, well, thank you, Sam, for talking to us. We're going to now try to get Coach Dan Kimble, who's going to talk a little bit about his dad here when we return. Keep it here on the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. Sam, will you walk? All right. We anxiously await Dan Kimble, son of Don. He's going to come over and just have a quick word with us. You can get a little bit in the picture-in-picture here. As there's Dan. Sam's trying to get a word in with him, but he's doing what his dad would expect him to do and what he's done in his own right. And you know what, folks, before he comes on, as much as you've heard me sing the praises, and I have, of Don Kimble, because there's just nobody like him. In his own right, Dan Kimble has left a pretty good legacy himself, both as a competitive swimmer, a coach, and an aquatics person in the community. And so we're just waiting for him to give a chance to come over and talk to us for a second. I'm sure he's still talking about the exciting come from behind fourth quarter victory by the Detroit Lions. You know, not that I care anything about the Detroit Lions or anything, or trying to remember if you didn't see the game. How did it end again? They had scored a late touchdown to take the lead. Still, Chicago had a chance to win it, and then who was it who got the strip sack fumble? And the fumble went out of the end zone for a safety and finished the game off for a Lions victory? Oh, yeah, it's that Hutchinson guy. All right. We're actually on pretty good pace right now. As the 50s are done, I turn the page. And all we have now are the relays. And we are going to then stick a fork in the 2023 Don Kimble invite. What a great weekend it's been, folks. Some amazing swims. So much fun. Good swimming, good diving. You got to see Dylan Tyson. He's about to swim in the relay. That's one of the divers for Davenport. And they dragged him in. I'm not sure why. I didn't hear the whole backstory. Maybe if we get a chance to talk to Dan, he'll be able to explain why Dylan got recruited to swim in one of the relays here. Want to thank you all for joining us. And since I have still another second or so, if you have not done so already, it would do me a huge service if you not only clicked the like button at the bottom right of your YouTube page, but also hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the kind of athletic events that I bring to you, you can see my channel, the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network, has the best in middle school, high school, and college. Whatever I am legally allowed to do. Still waiting for Dan Kimble here to pay us a visit. All right. Wow. Hard to believe the diving well has already been torn down. Our break is almost over here. I'm starting to doubt I'm going to end up being able to have a chance to talk to Mr. Kimble here. So you're stuck with me, but it is truly my... Yeah, I still have not yet heard why the 50 free had to be reseeded. And to be honest with you folks, I have no idea what happened there. If there was a formal protest or what it was. If I see Scott, our head official, I'll ask him if he can explain why we had to have it. All right, we're still waiting. Now I have officially 3 questions. Well, first, the obvious one is for him to speak on behalf of this event as a tribute to his father, the late Don Kimble, who was absolutely a staple, both as a coach, a mentor, and inspirational in the sport of swimming. He left us just too soon. But I, for one, am deeply appreciative of the legacy he left and the influence on so many that he had. It's pretty cool. All right. We got about 3 minutes or so before we will return to the pool. We have 2 heats of for both the men and the women in the 400 freestyle relay. I am really curious to see here on the men. But you can see the officials having a conversation. Let's look at something else. Anything else we can get. I feel bad right now for Samantha, who we spoke with prior. She's anxiously waiting an opportunity to try to talk to Dan, but Dan continues to do what he's got to do, which is coach his kids. Let's take a look at some of the swimmers there down the... what do we got? We got Aquinas, some Saginaw Valley. Here he comes now, folks, so let me switch this back. Here comes Dan right now. All right, you can just hold that one and you'll be able to talk right into it. Let me pull you hot again. Joining me now finally, folks, as I said, he had to do his coaching, and if we're going to talk about his dad would have been mad if he didn't coach when he had to. Who cares about an interview on a stream? But really, truthfully, first of all, Dan, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
It's really wonderful to have a meet like this. I talk about it, and I'm somebody who is deeply moved by your father in so many levels, working, swimming, having him coach me, work with him, and then I was lucky enough to work with him as I got older. For you, how is it to come back from swimming in high school and college and now take over a position that your dad one time did and be able to be at a meet of this magnitude?
Swimming for him and swimming in the summers and learning from the swimmer side of how he was as a coach, then being able to actually coach with him at Holland High and we get more of a time to talk about coaching theory. Because I had coached at Hope College, and then we coached together at Holland, and just learned a lot from him. It's, sometimes, as you're growing up, it can be, you have that familiar relationship, and there's all the extra baggage. But for the most part, we were able to keep our pool time separate, and really learn. And I was able to learn so much from him. And then, to be able to come back to college coaching, and to do it in a place where now people know of him, it's been a lot of fun. And I think it's great that Justin was had that relationship with him as well, and now we're able to kind of keep his legacy going, because I know he would have loved to have been here and been a part of building this program, and so now to be able to step in, it's great.
Now that plaque, we have both the one that's hanging at Davenport and the one that's traveling here. That's beautiful. What does your family feel about all this? Are they as excited as so many of us are about this?
So, the quick story is, like, when my dad got sick the week and a half before COVID. I mean, it was February of 2020. And then everything kind of locked down, and it was hard for us to even see him a lot of the times because of the restrictions. And so what I tell that to say that when he passed in May of 2020, there were still restrictions on the amount of people that could be at a funeral, and it was just our immediate family. And honestly, it did a lot for closure and for grief to be able to hear stories from everybody. And I've been able to live that out here, and just everybody kind of remembers the story, and they'll come over and be able to share, something that he would, a story that they had of him, and it helps keep him close. So it's really nice.
Well, I hope this swim meet goes on for a long time, because your dad just meant so much to so many of us. This is the bare minimum amount we could do for him. But as you said before, this would be one where he would be like, oh, I don't want a moment of silence. I don't want any of this. Let's get in here. And I can almost see him saying, your whistle still needs some improvement. You don't have Dad's whistle yet. Hey, Dan, we all loved your dad. Know that we're thinking about him and always with your family. And thank you so much for giving us some time here to talk about the legendary Don Kimble. All right. Thanks a lot. That was, of course, Dan Kimble, assistant coach. Oops. Oh, you're going to take it with me. I appreciate that so much. All right, that was his son, Dan, and it was a wonderful opportunity to get a little bit of background on this and that. We still haven't been able to find out yet why we had to reseed. But I do have to adjust that slightly. Check 1, 2. All right, they're asking for the timers to make their way back, which means I had better get the scoreboard back. Oop. Bear with me here, folks. I appreciate your patronage. There we go. We have 4 races to go here, or actually 2 races and 2 heats in each. All right. I have Scott walking by. I'm going to ask him real quick. Hey, Scott.
This morning, and all felt that some of the times they saw in the women's 53 just weren't right. A couple of them were like, I don't think my swimmers swam that. That seemed a little fast for that specific heat. So we went back and looked at the backups versus the pad time and found out that, yeah, the pad seemed, what we think is the starter somehow didn't start in heats where it should have. So by the time it did click in, it was a second to a second and a half behind, which gave that heat a much faster time.
Okay.
And it wasn't valid.
Okay. So nobody's upset about it. It was just that we wanted to be fair.
I talked to all the coaches. They all agreed. We reseeded it. Everybody feels way more comfortable. They all think it was much better.
All right. All right. Thanks a lot, Scott. Scott is our head official here this weekend, and it was great to get that explanation from him. That is still makes some of us sad that there were a couple of athletes who got bumped out of the final 24 swimmers, but I'm appreciative
and now
to get
the women's 400 freestyle relay.
All right, the first of two heats of the women's 400 free.
In lane 1, the lane from Aquinas. Lane 2, team from Davenport. The lane 3, team from Wayne State. Lane 4, Wayne State again. In lane 5, Olivet Nazarene. In lane 6, Aquinas. In lane 7, Olivet Nazarene. In lane 8, Aquinas.
All right, this is the 400 freestyle relay. Each swimmer swims 2 laps or 100 yards of the freestyle. And at the first 50, it is 26:47 is the lead. Coming back right now. Coming up on our first exchange. Who's it going to be? Looks like it'll be lane number 4, 2770 at 54:17. 54:76 for Aquinas A in lane 6. It's getting a little crowded, as you can see here on the deck. Coming up at the halfway mark there. 1:19:56 for the Wayne State B. Then it goes to Aquinas A. No, I beg your pardon. To Olivet Nazarene B at 1:21:82, and then Aquinas A at off by even another half a second. There's the exchange at 1:46:90 with a 27:34. We're now into the third leg. Second place, Olivet Nazarene, 1:51:01. Olivet Nazarene C now at 1:53:49. At the halfway mark of the third leg, what was her time there? 25:37. Then at 26:76 for lane 5, 26:82 for Aquinas in lane 6, and then Wayne C at 28:21. So we're coming up here on the back 50, getting ready to the first anchor exchange. That's going to be for Wayne State's B. And they hit the water at 2:40:30 with a 28:03. Now second place, next exchange is Olivet Nazarene at 2:48:22, and then 2:49:23 for Davenport C, and Aquinas C is 2:50:48. Oh, I forgot Olivet Nazarene C at 2:49:58. Seed time to beat on this one is 3:44:05 for Wayne State B. Coming home right now. Let's see what they end up at. I think we're going to see another time drop. Oh, I bet it now for sure. Inside the flags, hitting the wall, 3:33:25. Folks, that, my friends, is an 11-second drop. Second place, Olivet Nazarene B goes 3:43:18. That's a 2.5-second drop. Third place goes up to Davenport C, who goes 3:46:12. And folks, that's a 6-second drop. Wow, some great swims. We are about to have the championship heat of the women's 400 free relay. For that, we will turn it over to Mr. Brandon Graff.
Second heat.
All right. And the final swim for the women's this weekend is underway. Brandon, who do we got?
In this final heat, lane 1, the team from Saginaw Valley. Lane 2, from ONU. In lane 3, Wayne State. Lane 4, SVSU. And lane 5, Davenport. And lane 6, Hillsdale. And lane 7, Davenport. And lane 8, Hillsdale.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graff, for that one. And I don't think I gave the just dessert that belonged to the Wayne State B relay, who won the first relay. That would be Danica Fessenden, Sabine Branford, Megan Seeloff, and Julia Katulski. They went 3:33.25, dropping 11 seconds to win that first heat. And now we're coming up on our first exchange. This one's going to be real close. And it is Davenport A at 52.43. Also in the 52s, 52.81 is Wayne A. This is leg number 2 of 4. And coming up at the halfway mark of that, I say we might have a change in the leaderboard. Wayne A might be in top now. They are by 0.02 of a second over the Davenport A with the final 50 for the second legs. That, of course, is Barbara Munoz Quintero. And for Davenport, it's Alicia Pinkowitz. It's still real close as we get ready for our next exchange. It is 144.96, 145.24. Wayne over Davenport. And then Saginaw Valley at 146.43. Boy, I tell you, those times are pretty good. As we're now in the third leg right now. Holding still about a half a second lead is Wayne State. They're going to be at 209.73, 210.27 for Davenport, 211.37 for Saginaw Valley. Last flip turn here for the third legs. On their way home. I'd say it's now a full 3/4 of a second lead for Wayne State. 237.03, 238.46, 239.18. Now it's the anchor swimmers. Who's the fastest 100 left here of these teams in contention? Look at that. A big first 50 there for Wayne State. They are going to take the tape at 3:01.54. 3:03.06 for Davenport, 3:03.92 for Saginaw Valley. Final 50, here we go. Who is going to be the champion of the women's 400-yard freestyle relay? Half a pool length to go. Saginaw Valley right now is cruising. The battles for second place. Will it be? It is Davenport by 0.06 of a second gets second place. But congratulations, Wayne State. They go 3:28.35. Second place, Davenport 3:31.02. Saginaw Valley goes 3:31.08. 0.06 of a second. That, my friends, is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But congratulations to the Wayne State 3:28.35. And now the officials again are having a conversation. But first, let's give congratulations. Ali Vasilakis, Barbara Munoz Quintero, Isidore Sakaric, and Jordan Fox. They drop 9 seconds to take first place with a time of 3:28.35. Second place, the Davenport A team of Rebecca Wallace, Alicia Pinkowitz, Ella Wagner, and Emily Helgren. That was a fun race. That was a great race. Very close, very competitive. And now we have the consolation heat of the men's 400-yard freestyle.
And now the men's 400 free relay.
We will have 4 teams in this first heat. 3 of them are Aquinas. Aquinas C, Aquinas A, Davenport C, and Aquinas B. for the men's. Yeah, lane 3 was a scratch apparently. That's why we're at 2, 4, 5, and 6. At the halfway mark of the first leg, 22.78 for Aquinas A. Everybody else is in the 24s. Here we come on the first exchange, 47-63. Then Davenport, 50-37. 51-73 for Aquinas C and 51-91 for Aquinas B. Coming up on the halfway mark, Aquinas A is killing it. They're at 1:10.64 with a 23:01. Then Davenport with a 22.73 pulls within 2.5 seconds at 1:13. Then 1:15.76 for Aquinas B and 1:17.22 for Aquinas C. We're coming to the third legs here on this next exchange. Still a very big lead here for Aquinas A. 25.34 for a 1:35.98. 24.84 for a 1:37.94 within 2 seconds now. And then 1:42.51 for Aquinas B and 1:47.28 for Aquinas C. Hitting the wall, Aquinas A at 1:59.44. 2:01.35 within 2 seconds is Davenport C. Can they chase him down? It is a little closer, I think, right now than Aquinas would like. But it's a good, fun swim here as we're getting ready to transition into the anchor swimmers. Aquinas A holding on at 2:25.29, 2:26.77 for Davenport C with the final 50s, or I beg your pardon, final 100. But a great first 25 has reopened the lead slightly. Final 50, 2:47.50 to 2:49.22, 1.75 second advantage. But the Aquinas A swimmer went 22.21 to the Davenport C, who went 22.45 on the final 50. Last flip turn, Aquinas A with a comfortable lead, trying to improve on their 3:22.48. And they will, 3:12.94. Davenport C went 3:15.14 for second. But congratulations from Aquinas A, Titus Smith, Evan Hurtado, Luke Martin, and Matt Dumpsky. They go a 12-second drop for a 3:12.94. And that's going to bring us to the final swim of the 2023 Don Kimble Invitational, the men's 400-yard freestyle relay championship heat. Might need quiet for the start here. First time. And we're off. Brandon, who do we got?
In lane 1, the team from Davenport. In lane 2, the team from Saginaw Valley. In lane 3, from Wayne State. In lane 4, from Saginaw Valley. In lane 5, from Davenport. In lane 6, the team from ONU. In lane 7, the team from Wayne. In lane 8, Olivet.
All right, at the first 50, it's 21-17, and then a whole bunch of 22s. Saginaw Valley up by a full second after the first 50. Getting ready for our first exchange. 43.94. And then 46.01 for Wayne A and 46.35 for Davenport A. We are in leg 2. Coming up on the halfway mark. Opening the lead right now out of lane 4, Saginaw Valley with a 21:59, although Davenport went 21-21, 105:53, 107:56, 108:02. Last 50 of the second leg. That water is so choppy, these swimmers are so doggone fast. At the exchange, 130.06, 131.29, 131.67, 134.11, 134.59, and then 134.63. Folks, this is still really, really close. That's good. At the wall, 150.95, 153.15, 153.51. So it's still Saginaw Valley, Davenport, Wayne State with the final leg here of the final 50 of the third leg. Getting ready for the anchor at 2:14.84, 2:17.41, 2:17.47. Wayne State and Davenport are practically tied, but 2.5 seconds behind. Right now, the leader at Saginaw Valley. Coming up at the halfway mark with a 21-12, 21-33 for Davenport, 21-70. Now this is our last 50. Saginaw Valley's looking at good to win this one. Second place is going to be the battle here. They're on their way home. It will be 2:59.10. They went sub 3. Second place, Davenport, 3:02.96. Holy cow. What a finish there for Saginaw Valley's A. They dropped 2 seconds to go 2:59.10. Wow. Congratulations, Alejandro Robles Ruiz, Eric Slabbert, Almost Zedlak, and Logan Fox. You have won the 400-yard freestyle relay. Second place, the Davenport team of Sandstedt, Mills, Ruiz DeCanis, and Zeigel. Wow, what a finish. Now all we got to wait for is to find out who finished where in the men's and the women's for the weekend. Holy cow, what a great finish that to a great meet. We are all right. We're looking to see the scores. Let me run over to Meet Mobile here and see if it's already up there. What a fun weekend it was. I don't think they have all the diving scores in yet. We go back and double check everything. All right. They're doing some checking right now. I want to make sure I'm able to give you the official final tally here of the teams for the men's and the women's scores, team scores. This technically was a 8-team event for the women and 7 for the men because of Ashland and diving. Diving only. There's still trying to duke out the score. So, folks, I'm going to just suggest that you check out the Davenport University athletic website, and they will have a write-up of the final scores of today's event. It has been a wonderful weekend, folks, and again, I just can't say thank you enough. It has been so much fun to be able to bring you this action throughout the weekend. I hope I was able to add a little bit of excitement to what was an absolutely wonderful weekend of swimming and diving. And, wow, that's going to just about wrap it up. Again, I want to thank Brandon Graff, our meet manager and our public address announcer, as he was giving us the names at the start of each heat. I want to thank my executive producer and director, Chase Joseph, and most of all, for myself, Joey Sutherland, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to just about wrap it up here today. I want to be the first to wish you and yours the very best. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And until next time, thanks for watching the Biscuit in the Basket YouTube network. I'm Joey Sutherland. Until next time, happy holidays, God bless, and have a good night. We're off.